Hey everybody, how's it going? What we have here is some of my hobby progress that I've done recently, and they're mechs. They're mechs from Battletech. We have two clan mechs and an Innersphere mech. The two clan mechs are actually multi-part plastic. They're the ones that come in the introductory box set for Battletech. And they're the same ones you get in any box as far as I'm aware. It's not like they're randomized or anything, you get those two. I had to assemble the Hellbringer, which is this guy here, Hellbringer Prime, and very straightforward, pretty easy to assemble. The Summoner Prime here came assembled like that. It's supposed to be multi-part plastic, but actually came fully assembled, which was interesting. Not a big deal. The only thing it made was the legs a bit harder to paint. But what you're looking at here is Clan Smoke Jaguar color scheme. It is Alpha Galaxy, so we have the gray with the red, and then the Jaguar spots on it, which is a pretty easy effect to achieve. So that's what I did for those two. And I did a combination of micro pen, black macro pen, and a black wash for picking out certain details. Like the X's here in this guy are washed, but those are, for example, are micro pen. The other mech here is an old Ralpartha mech back in the days of Phasa. I think this one said it was from 1995 on the base. This is a metal figure while those are plastic. This also is a mech you can't buy anymore like this. Battletech has numerous what they used to call, and some of them are still called, unseen mechs. Mechs that they have since taken down from being sold as miniatures and really haven't used in publications or anything like that. And the Battlemaster was one of them. But they redid the artwork design and the sculpt for it, so now they're producing them again. But this is the original look of it, and I feel personally this is the better look of the two that are out there. Like I said, you only can find these probably, well, you can't buy these anymore from Ironwood Metals, where Ralpartha made these. You can find these on eBay every so often. But this is an Innersphere mech, but it's one of my favorite Innersphere mechs. I really like the look of it. So what I did here was Eridani Light Horse color scheme, which is a kind of drab with yellow. And this one, what I did is full-on wash treatment. So once I painted the colors down, I washed it in a brown wash, and that was basically it. That's all I did to it. The nice thing about the pewter models is they have pretty decent like panel line type stuff, as you can see there. It really takes the wash as well. There's some black for the weaponry, like on his torsos, or torso I should say. He's got some barrels there for his lasers. I did that in black. And his canopy, his cockpit is kind of, I went for like a tinted red orangish type of color, and I did what I call the general splatting technique, because he's the first person that I saw do this, and I've adopted it since then. Normally for Space Marine eye lenses, but I adopted it here. You paint the area that you want to be a certain color silver, and then you put washes over it. And what I did is I did a wash of orange, a wash of red, and kind of went back and forth between the two for a bit. Lost track of how many times. I think I threw like a slight wash of brown in there, and then orange and red again, and just one slight wash of brown. And that was the result I came up with, which I think looks pretty cool. The reason I went so crazy with it on the Battlemaster here is because there's a lot of cockpit armored glass. On these two, there really isn't that much. There, and they just have orange. Same technique. Now, the interesting thing about these three mechs is that the two clan ones, the two gray ones, are of a different scale than the Battlemaster. The Battlemaster is an assault mech. Those two are heavies. Scale-wise, in terms of size, they're off. I don't know why they did the scale they did these plastic guys in for the introductory box set, but it's not the same scale as this metal guy. And I'll go more into that in its own little video ramble, in which you'll see these three mechs again along with some other mechs to kind of show you the scaling difference. And that's where it can kind of get confusing depending upon what you purchase, because the scaling isn't going to be for absolutely everything out there that's purchasable, if that makes any sense. But it's really not that big of a deal. Basically, everything you're going to find blister-wise is going to be scaled like this guy's scaled. Most everything anyway. So you have a really safe bet of making sure you get the, I don't want to say correct scaling, because they produce the other scales for a reason to be played with, but you're going to get, I would say, the more common scaling for the most part, which is, I think, fine. But anyways, that'll be its own other ramble. That's why I didn't base these guys. I just painted their bases black because they're not in the same scale as the Battlemaster. And the Battlemaster, I gave it kind of my traditional mech basing, kind of like a planes or whatever type of base. So that's really it for these three guys. Another fun little tidbit of information is that the Smoke Jaguars, or when they were wiped out, annihilated essentially from the Battletech universe, which is unfortunate because they're my favorite clan. One of the forces that went in to really help do that were the Aerodani Light Horses. So I have kind of an appropriate color scheme for all my clan stuff and my Inner Sphere stuff. Just kind of cool, I guess, in that regard. But anyways, that's really it. I didn't go crazy with the yellow here because I used the yellow with the drab as kind of an accent color, so I don't want to go too crazy. And I like the idea of the not being symmetrical with the colors. That's why you have like this shoulder part has it, but this one doesn't, and this knee pad has it, but that one doesn't. So anyways, just something else to point out. But that's really it, so thanks for sticking with this little hobby update. I have one more for you to come up, and stay tuned for that one. So until next time, take it easy.